Hi, I'm Keita Williams. I'm the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an accountability practice that supercharges your goals. I'm thrilled that we're kicking off September Slay. This is the month we're going to make a big push towards our Big Hairy Audacious Goals. Episode 26 is truly a full circle moment for me. My guest is one of my favorite co-conspirators, mentors, and friends. McNally, CEO of Rhea Media, founder of Doyenne Legal, and the founder of the extraordinary F-Bomb Breakfast Club, joins us. Megan has made it absolutely clear that she's on a mission. She's out to level the playing field for women everywhere. In order to achieve her multiple BHAGs this year, she has stopped giving an F about what anyone has to say about her and their opinions on what she can and cannot accomplish. Megan walks us through the entrepreneurial thread throughout her life, the inspiration behind the F-Bomb Breakfast Club, and the upcoming launch of her next big adventure. Tell us about your previous experience and what made you step out on your own as an entrepreneur.
I spent 20 years in the nonprofit and philanthropic sector before doing what I'm doing now. And at 40, I decided to go ahead and go to law school.
Okay.
So I earned my law degree at night while working an executive job during the day and while swearing that I would never practice law.
Cut to.
I'm practicing law. I've always been an entrepreneur, though. Even in the 20 years in the nonprofit and philanthropic sector, the projects I was involved with that were absolutely the most amazing were the beginnings. Beginnings of new organizations, beginnings of a movement, beginning of a project that was going to have a tremendous impact in a community. And I also ran my own consulting practice for about 6 years during that time. So I'm not a new entrepreneur. I'm just an entrepreneur in a new sector.
When you say you were always an entrepreneur, did you find that when you were like a kid, were you kind of doing entrepreneurial things? Did you have a lemonade stand? Did you do any of that?
I used to recruit girls to come to my house on Friday afternoons, and I would give them a shot of wild turkey and pierce their earlobes before going to Astro Skate on Friday night.
So one of my personal favorite Megan's stories is how F-Bomb Breakfast Club came to be. So can you share what you were thinking and what it is and what it is now?
Last fall, I decided to launch a femme-powered, full-service, badass business law firm for entrepreneurs and change makers.
Called?
Doyenne Legal. And knowing that it takes more than legal help to bring an idea to the surface, I decided to pair that with a strategy consultancy. And knowing that it takes more than strategy and legal advice to get a business off the ground, I decided to pair those with a capital fund. So in November, I signed a lease and opened doors to Doyenne Legal, Doyenne Strategy, and Doyenne Capital. And it turned out to be the same week as Seattle Startup Week. So I hit the pavement. I went to every session that I could. I talked to as many women as I possibly could about their startup experience. And I was not surprised, but disheartened by how many of the same stories I heard over and over again. So I talked to women in the bathrooms, in line to get a drink, in the audience waiting for a speaker, in the hallway after we saw a speaker. And I heard so many women tell stories of wanting to launch, but feeling intimidated, of women whose spouses or partners or parents had told them they couldn't do it and that they should get a job or keep their job. The number of women I talked to who had experiences of being in the boardroom or being in front of investors and being the only woman in the room and being talked over and being looked over and being passed over. And there was just so much commonality that I thought it would be really fabulous for us to be able to get together more regularly, besides this one amazing week during the year, to talk about it. What are some of the strategies? So I went back to my office and wrote a blog post and invited women to come to the first F-Bomb Breakfast Club meeting in the new year. And I said I would provide the donuts and the space as long as people would get up early to come meet me, because I'm in the fucking hustle all day long.
Right.
So
we don't have time to meet in the middle of the day.
No. So
no 1 o'clock for us.
If you want to sit around and strategize about how we sort of deal with that shit and then hurdle over it to be successful, let's do it early in the morning. So I wrote a blog post and I hoped that somebody would show up, that it would not just be me on that very first fucking Friday in January. It was a dark, cold, rainy morning in the heart of Pioneer Square when I organized some chairs into a circle and hoped that somebody would show up. And about 25 women did show up to that first meeting.
I will say that I was in attendance for this first breakfast, sauntered in tardy.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah, in leather leggings. I don't know why that story always stands out to me.
I noted the tardiness and the leather leggings.
I thought it was quite fabulous that morning. Like, I'm overdressing as per usual.
Keita did not slide through the door and quietly take a seat in a circle. This woman fucking came through the door and owned the room the second she set foot in it. And then I will remind you that you introduced yourself not as Keita Williams, not even as Keita H. Williams, but as Keita with all 10 fingers waving around in the air.
Show up late, make a scene. That's what we do here.
Fucking leather pants.
I love that you are passionately building community and like this power tribe of women that are launching and scaling. What is some of your advice for people that are looking to kind of duplicate that in their own communities? Like, what have been some of your learnings?
That is a great question. Number one is, I think you have to actually love people to want to build a tribe of people around you. So that helps.
There's that.
I love people, and I am insatiably curious about people. And so I want to be around them and I want to learn from them. That helps. The thing that's really important, if you really want to build a tribe that matters, that makes a difference, you have to remember constantly that it's mutual. It's about mutual support. So I didn't build a tribe of people who would just support me. I didn't build a tribe of people that I would impart wisdom to, because I don't have a lot of wisdom to impart. But I built a tribe of people that I consider to be peers who inspire me every day, who sometimes have questions and problems that I might have an answer to, are people that I can reach out to and lift up when they need it, and I know that they're going to do the same thing for me. It really is about that mutual support, and that's what makes it work. If it's one-sided, that's just a class. That's not a community.
Right. So I know you're working on a new media platform, and it is ambitious. You've got a new BHAG. So I want to hear more about Diana and how we can support.
I am at a place in my life where I am tired of waiting for other people to level the playing field for women. I think that's just absolutely where I have arrived this year. This is my year of not giving a fuck. Okay. And what I mean about not giving a fuck is there are a lot of things, obviously. There are actually a lot of fucks that I give. I give a fuck about living in a just and equitable world where all things are possible. I give a fuck about ideas coming to the surface. But I don't give a fuck about other people's opinions of what I can or can't do. That's what I quit giving a fuck about this year. And there's an extraordinary audience for women's sports. And it's time that we listen to those fans and that we gave them an easy, fun way to watch and to engage with women's sports. And we're going to do that.
So how do you plan to do that?
Well, we plan to launch a network that ultimately is a multimedia platform for women's sports. So a single place to go to that aggregates all live action for women's professional sports. So a place that you can watch live and on-demand gaming, where you can engage with other sports fans, a place where you can watch originally produced fucking amazing programming centered on female athletes and women's sports, and then ultimately a place that brings a little video gaming and e-gaming into the picture too, so that we can inspire some competition among women and an opportunity to really get to engage with their sports, not just watch them. Because here's what's different about our company. So our company is Rhea Media. The product that we're launching is Diana. Diana is our network. I'm so excited to do this, and part of what I'm loving is that it's very different than anything I've done before. Okay. And it is a complex business. We don't have a single product line. We don't have one line of business that we're developing. We're talking about a multimedia platform that involves numerous lines of business and areas of business that require us to become really expert on a whole lot of things in a short amount of time. And that's different than the kinds of businesses or business lines that I've run before. So it's an entirely new space, and it's exhausting, exciting, and amazing.
And so what do you think has been like the key learning when you decided to take this leap? Because this is, it is a complex business. So what have you learned so far?
I have learned that our chances of success are 1 in a gazillion, and that's enough for me. That this is really our moonshot, and we're going to take it. This is the moment to take it. I've learned that whether or not we're successful, and by successful I mean that the vision that's in my head is what comes to fruition, right? So whether or not that's what happens, the learning along the way has been extraordinarily invaluable. And we're at the very front end of it.
Right.
So for me, the opportunity to show up day after day and learn is really what life is about.
My grandmother used to say this thing, and this is probably kind of morbid, but I don't really care. It's my show.
The day you stop learning is the day you die.
I believe that. I believe that, and I try to cultivate that in everything that I do. So I have done jobs in the past where I have not led well, and I have not really established that as part of the culture, and we suffered for it. And now, at the law firm especially, we're a learning organization. So my team and I, we spend Monday mornings talking about our clients. What can we learn from them? Where are they? What are they up to? What's worrying them? What keeps them up at night? So we're constantly learning, and I think that makes us better in any service industry, which just about every business is a service industry.
When you think about it.
You better love your customers, you better love your clients, and you better be curious about them. So if you aren't constantly learning, you'd be obsolete in no time at all.
So as you've been starting the pitch process, what has been some of the best advice you've gotten so far?
Well, first of all, I would say we are on the very front end of that. So we have not yet started pitching investors per se. We have been seeking advice from some investors in advance of actually pitching to them. And we're getting a lot of it. And I think one of the first things to note is that no two people have the same opinion. So
There's that.
For every person who says, you have to have a technical co-founder at the table, there's somebody who says, you don't need a technical co-founder at the table.
A technical co-founder.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's important, I think, to hear all that advice, but then you have to be choosy about which advice you're going to take and weigh your own instincts against those that other people are giving you. So I think that's important. I think the most consistent, best piece of advice that we've gotten that we're following is do our homework. So it's not enough just to go out and say, we want to level the playing field. We're going to finally give women's sports fans what they've been waiting for. Great. How the fuck are you going to do it? How fast can you do it? What's it going to take to do it?
Right. And how much money do you plan to make?
How much money do you plan to Well, what are you going to do the first time something goes wrong? What are you going to do if you don't secure the media rights that you need right out of the gate? What do you do if you secure lots of media rights, but you can't build the infrastructure or the capacity fast enough to deliver? So we have to really be thoughtful and rigorous enough to be able to answer those questions without going so far as to paralyze ourselves into a place where we don't go forward because we don't have all the answers. So trying to find that balance, lots of people have advised us about where that line is, and we're following that.
When you started all of this, November you launched, how has your vision changed?
How has my vision changed? That's a great question. I don't think it has changed. I think it's gotten bigger, but I think it's still the same vision. I want to level the playing field. I want to live in a world where ideas stand just as much chance getting to the surface if they are hatched by an Ivy League, star MBA as they are by a hardworking single mom. I want to live in a world where those ideas have the same shot at success.
Excited to share and see how much growth Megan and I both have had in the last 9 months. So many memories since that first cold day in January. There's a powerful lesson to get moving and pursue your goals with passion and purpose. Keep up with my antics, key learnings, and my ability to be wildly photogenic on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Success Bully. Feel free to like and share. I'm reopening my client roster for the fall and rolling out a series of workshops to help you finish the year strong. For more information on Megan McNally, check out Doyenne Legal and keep an eye out for Diana Sports and mark your calendar for the first Friday of the month for the F-Bomb Breakfast Club. We are produced with love by Large Media, and that's larjmedia.com. Don't go big, go large. And I'm your host, Keita Williams.